Yes. Yeah. Morning. All. So before I start, can anyone please confirm whether my voice is clear, right? Whether my screen is visible or not? Can anyone please confirm once? Yeah.
How is it? It's visible for us.
Fine. Thank you. Uh, we had introductory session in the last class. So just uh, I'll take 2 minutes. So Python was introduced in the year 1989. Python was introduced in the year 89. But why all of a sudden Python has got a great boom? The reasons which makes Python suddenly super popular. What are the reasons which makes Python suddenly super popular, right? Reasons which makes Python suddenly super popular. So what Python has got? Python has see most of the programmers are attracted towards Python. They're migrating towards Python because of its very less coding, not even one-fourth the coding as compared with other programming languages. And secondly, simple syntaxes. The syntaxes of Python looks like normal English statements. What are the Python syntaxes looks like normal English statements? They are not as complex as other programmings. Interactive mode given by Python. Interactive mode given by Python. So we can easily interact with Python statement by statement. For every statement, it gives response. Just observe this. At the bottom search panel, type CMD, say enter. Okay, just observe right. Python. Whenever I enter Python, it's already installed in my system, so it displays the Python version and the interpreter gets opened. So three arrowed symbols, right? Any valid Python statements you can type and you can interact. For every statement you type, Python is going to provide you the response, right? So I'm asking Python, what is 3 plus y? What is 23 into 32? X is 10, y is 4. I'm asking what is x value, what is y value, oh, what is x plus y, what is x minus y, x into y, x by y, x into 2, x to the power of 2. In this way, you can easily interact. For every statement, it is giving a response. A plus b, x into 3 prints hello for 3 times, x into 5 prints hello for 5 times. Just say quit. It comes out of it. This right. In this way, we can easily interact with Python statement by statement. For every statement, it gives response. So this is where this whenever you install Python, we get a editor. This is what the editor I'm typing in that, right? It's not a notepad. So this is Python. Whenever we install Python, we get a editor. Just I'm typing in the editor. Today's session, I'll brief you like the installation of Python and also the editor, different ways of executing Python, I'll be discussing. Multi-programming features. Python has got multiple programming features. What all the programming features, what all the features we see in different other programming languages, all the features we see in Python, like procedural oriented programming features, object oriented programming features, scripting features, modular programming features, right? As part of our course, I will be discussing all procedural oriented with Python, object oriented with Python, scripting and modular programming with Python. Wide varieties of applications, we can develop using Python. Wide varieties of applications, right? Using Python, any kind of applications you can develop, like web applications, animation applications, gaming applications, networking applications, embedded applications, desktop applications. In this way, any kind of applications you can develop by using Python. Many built-in libraries. Many built-in libraries. 89,300 inbuilt modules. Many inbuilt libraries, 89,300 inbuilt modules Python has got for different environments. 89,300 inbuilt modules Python has got for different environments, but then supports thousands of modules. Within that modules, we have got many functions. Using that functions and modules, we can perform that operations in a simpler manner. Right. Python is a general purpose programming language. General purpose programming language is not for a particular purpose. Any kind of applications you can develop, because of it we call as Python as general purpose. Because of this multiple programming features, we call Python as a hybrid language. Python is a high level language. Python is a high level language, easily understandable, supportable. Platform independent, platform independent, machine independent, platform independent. It can run on any hardware in any operating systems. Platform independent, machine independent, can run on all the hardware and all the operating systems. It is an interpreted language, line by line execution. It is interpreted language, line by line execution, which makes debugging easy. Supports all databases. And finally, you can say it's a programmer friendly programming language, user friendly or programmer friendly programming. So these are the reasons which makes Python super popular, right? So very less coding, simple syntaxes, interactive mode, multiple programming features, wide varieties of applications creations, many built-in libraries, thousands of modules and functions, right? Right. The general purpose programming, it's a high level language, platform independent, supports all databases, programmer friendly programming, right? Yes. So you need to know something about the PSF, Python Software Foundation, right? Yes. PSF, Python Software Foundation. It is a non-profit organization, pre-SF, right? It is a non-profit organization denoted towards Python community, right? Non-profit organization non-profit organization donated to Python community. It was launched in the year 2001, right? Yes, sorry, almost like more than 24 years ago, right? It was introduced. And the main objective to foster the development of Python from version to version, to foster the development of Python from version to version, right? Yes. In the year 2005, PSF received in the year 2005, PSF received Computer World Horizon Award. The president for this, Guido van Rossum, the president, right? The same person is Guido van Rossum, the same personality who introduced Python. The same personality who introduced Python is the president for this Python Software Foundation headquarters. Delaware, US. Official website. Official website of Python, www.python.org. Python.org is the official website from where we can download Python, from where we can see the documentation of each and every Python release. Okay. So before I go with this Python installation, you need to know something about the Python versions. Python versions. Python 1.x version. It was released in the year, the first version of Python. It was released in the year 1989. Python 2.x version, the second version. 2.x means 2.1. The first version, 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, right? The first two version was released in the year 2000. The next, the version 3 version. The version what we are using currently is the 3 version. The version what we are using currently is the 3 version, right? The 3.x. It was introduced in the year 2008. Latest version of Python. Latest version of Python. Python 3. Latest version of Python is Python 3.13. Stable version of Python. Stable version, right? Stable version of Python. Python 3.12. Stable version is nothing but mostly used version. Mostly used version. Yes. Python 1.x, 2.x, Python 1.x in the year 1989, 2.x in the year 2000, 3.x in the year 2008. So from the last 16 to 17 years, right? Yes. So we are using the Python 3.x version itself, right? So now Python installation. That is regarding Python version. Now Python installation. Yes. Before I install, right? Yes. Just I'll go to the start apps, apps and features. So I'll just scroll down. Python 3.13. I'm going to uninstall this. I'm going to show you how to download and how to install it from the scratch from the ground level. Yes. So I'm uninstalling the Python. Python is providing different softwares for different environments, for Windows, for Linux, for Mac OS. For Windows, okay, for Linux, there is no need of separate installation. Whenever you install any Linux OS, right, by default, Python comes as inbuilt within that, right? No need of separate installation within the Linux environment. Okay, uninstallation was successful, right? Close it. So for Linux, no need of any special installation by default within the Linux environment, right? Python comes as inbuilt along with this OS, so no need of any special. But in the case of Windows or Mac OS, we are supposed to download and we need to install. But in Windows, Python is providing two softwares. For Windows environment, Python provides two softwares. So whether if your Windows is a 32-bit or 64-bit. So if your Windows is a 32-bit or 64-bit, depending upon the type of OS, for example, if it is 32-bit, you are supposed to download 32-bit Python software. If your Windows is a 64-bit, you're supposed to download 64-bit Python software. So go to this file explorer. How will you check whether your Windows is a 32 or 64-bit? Go to your file explorer. Within that file explorer, right? Yes. Right click and say properties. Can you say 64-bit operating system? Right click on this piece, my PC, this PC, right? On that right click and say properties. So it's clearly saying 64-bit operating system. But if anyone going with the older versions of Windows, Windows 7 or Windows 8, yes, if you have got 64-bit, okay, you are supposed to download 64-bit. If you have got 32-bit, you are supposed to download 32-bit Python software. So what is the official website, right? What is the official website for Python? www.python.org, right? Yes. Python.org is the official website from where we can download and where we can see the documentation of each and every Python release. So here can you see the downloads, and here you can see the documentation, right? So downloads say all releases, downloads all releases, right? Scroll down to the bottom of this page. Active Python releases, don't go for it. Looking for a specific release from the last 50 years, so from the last for example, from the last 20 years, what all the Python versions were released, everything you can see. Just check this, 2001 onwards. So since from 2001 onwards, what all the versions released, everything you can see. You can select any version, 3.13.2, the latest version, right? 3.13. Oh, 1 second. 3.13.2. This was released on February 4th, 2025. More than 20 days ago, it was released. So select that. The 3.13.2 gets opened. Go to the bottom of this page. Go to the bottom of this page and just if it is Mac, you want to install Mac OS 64-bit Universal installer, Windows installer 64-bit, and Windows installer 32-bit. Windows installer 64-bit, Windows installer 32-bit. Click this Windows installer 64-bit, automatically the download is going to start. Click it. See, download started. One download is in progress, right? See, Python 3.13.2, 27.3 MB of size. It is download is finished. Click the TXE file or go to the downloads folder and click the TXE file, right? You will get this window. This window gets open. So don't immediately go for installation. Don't immediately go for installation. At the bottom, you can say add Python to path. Add Python to path. Add Python to path variable of OS. Adding Python to path variable of OS. Adding Python to path variable of OS. And just select this customize installation. Just to go for this customize installation, right? Yes. Within this, everything are pre-selected, nothing to select here. Documentation, pip, ideally, Python test suite, everything you can, everything are pre-selected. Say next to now. It is asking advanced options. So you can select this, already they are selected. Create shortcuts, create, add Python to environment variables. These two. And see that installation location where it is getting installed. The installation location where you can check where it is getting installed. In C, users, Dell, app data, local, programs, Python, Python 313. So tomorrow, if you want to locate Python where it is installed, it is too difficult, right? So keep your mouse before this and remove all this, remove all this. Yes, C Python 313. So within the C drive, Python 313, a folder gets within the C drive, Python 313 means 3.13 folder gets created within that. Python is going to get installed. Hardly it takes 30 seconds to install Python. So just say install. Hardly it takes 30 seconds. Just wait for a second. Other installation is in already in progress. Complete the installation before proceeding with this install. Just a second, right. Go to this settings, apps, apps and features. Windows installer. Click the txt file. Add Python. Click this add Python to path. Add Python to path. Go for customize installation. Say next. So just remove all this Python 313 within the C drive, Python 313. Just say install, right. Only takes 30 seconds, right? Yes, setup was successful. Just to close it. Yes. Yeah. Yes. So whether it is properly installed or not, whether this Python is properly installed or not, we can check it. Yes. At the bottom, CMD, you can type CMD, right? Command prompt and say enter and type Python here and say enter. Whenever I say enter, the Python version has to be displayed. Whenever I say enter, the Python version has to be displayed and the has to Python interpreter has to be displayed. Check it whenever I say Python 3.13.2, the version which I have installed, and these three arrow symbols, right? These three arrow symbols. It's a Python interpreter where you can type any valid Python statements. 5 plus 4. X minus 2, x into 2. X is the power symbol in Python. So Python is working. It was installed properly. Say quit function, right? To come out of this. It's working fine, right? Yes. So quit to come out of this. Yeah. Just a second. Fine. So Python is working fine. So if anyone working if anyone working with Python within the Linux environment, if you want the latest version of Python to be installed in your Linux machine, because Python by default it comes along with the Linux operating system. If you are using older versions of this Linux, older version of Python will be installed. So you want the latest version to get installed, so you can go with this command sudo apt-get install apt-get install Python 3.13. So this command will automatically downloads and installs Python within your Linux machine. Now Python execution modes. That is what installation of Python and Python execution modes. Two modes of execution. Two modes of execution. Interactive mode. First one is like interactive mode. Interactive mode, and secondly it is batch mode. Interactive mode and batch. Interactive mode. Here we directly type Python statements on the interpreter. Just now we discussed, right? We directly type Python statements on the interpreter, and the user can easily interact. The user can easily interact with Python statement by statement. For every statement it gives response. Just now we have seen, right? So the advantage of this interactive mode, if it doesn't know about any Python functionality, you can type here and check. Based on the response, you can easily analyze what it is for, right? So to test the functionalities of Python, and to learn Python. To test the functionalities of Python and to learn Python. Batch mode. Batch mode, right? Here we write a set of statements. Here we write set of statements. Within the editors or IDEs. Here we write set of statements within the editors or IDEs. Here we are writing set of statements within the editors or IDEs. And save it by using .py extension. We are writing set of statements within the editors or IDEs and save it by using .py extension and later submitting to Python. So here for developing applications, this interactive mode can't be used. Only for testing the functionalities, for learning the Python for beginners, right, is useful but for developing applications, we go for batch mode, where we write batch of statements within the editors or IDEs, save it by using .py and later submitting to Python. Here, what are the various editors? What are the various editors? And what are the various IDEs? Various editors supported by Python. Various editors, right, within this. Notepad, you can write a .py file and create a .py file. Within the Notepad, you can write a Python code and create a .py file. Within the Edit Plus, you can write Python code and create a .py file. In the case of Linux, within VI and nano editors, right? So these are the editors. The first two are for Windows, the next two are for the Linux environment. And what are the various IDEs supported by Python? Various IDEs, integrated development environment, right? So PyCharm, PyDev, Komodo, Spider, Eclipse, NetBeans, Jupyter Notebook, Jupyter Notebook, VS Code. PyCharm, PyDev, Komodo, Spider, Eclipse, NetBeans, Jupyter Notebook, and VS Code. So you may ask why this many IDs for Python? Why not one or two IDs, right? Python is used for different environments using different IDs. For data science, Jupyter Notebook is mostly preferred. Spider is preferred. For big data environment also, Spider is preferred. Big Jupyter Notebook is preferred. For typical web applications, PyCharm is preferred. VS Code is preferred, right? So among all this, PyCharm is the mostly used IDE for Python. So in this way, different environments using different IDEs. So I'll be showing you how to download this, how to install, and how way to write the code and how to execute the code, right? Yes.
So I have your question, sir.
Yes.
What is the difference between PyCharm and Spider?
See, everything, right? Um, Coding wise, there won't be any difference. Only thing is the look and feel appearance will be different. And if we talk about Jupyter Notebook, so for typical web applications, right? This PyCharm and VS Code has got some special features it is going to provide. Spider Spider is just like for Python applications, it is suitable, but for typical web applications, right? PyCharm is the best choice. Means it is going to provide that features. It is going to give support for UI technologies. If I talk about this Spider and PyCharm, even in it is giving a lot of features for the framework, Python framework, and for UI technologies, right? It is going to provide those. It will be a better interface.
Yeah.
Okay, for typical only for Python development, you can go for this. But for web applications, Python and also with web development, right, this Python will be the better choice. And VS Code also, right, for normal Python applications and also for web development. Yes. So later I discuss about these things one by one. I'll show you the downloading process, installation process. Not on a single ID, I'll be discussing on multiple IDs, right? Be showing like PyCharm, Spider, Jupyter, VS Code, all these things, right? Yes. Okay. Developing the first Python application within a editor, example like Notepad. Just open Notepad and type the following Python code. Open Notepad and type the following Python code, right? Yes. So up to now we didn't discuss anything related to Python. So but just I'll take two values like x as 10, y as 20, and I want to perform some kind of arithmetic operations like x plus y, x minus y, x into y. X by y, right? X plus y, x minus y, x into y, and x by y. Yes, just I'll copy this to a separate notepad file, right? I'll just copy this to a separate notepad file. Just type notepad, enter this file, save, right? File, save. So within this Python 6am batch, just I am saving it as a sample1.py, sample1.py extension, right? So multiple ways how to execute the Python code I'll be discussing, right? So here, just within the notepad, I'm writing this Python statements, save it Control S as .py extension, any name with .py extension. Save as sample1.py. Now submit this file to Python. Now submit this file to Python as. Okay, at the bottom, type Python. Okay, type CMD, sorry. Type CMD and say enter. And Python, just type Python and give the entire path where your file is available. Within the C drive, Python 6am batch, Python 6am batch, right? And sample1.py, sample1.py extension, right? So where your file is present, in which folder and which drive, and specify the path in which drive, in which folder the file is available. Now you can say enter, you can say 10 plus 20, 10 minus 20, 10 into 20, 10 by 20, right? Yes. In this way. So just write the code within the notepad, save it as .py, submit to Python. But here, what is your observation here? But here, we are writing the code. We are writing the code at one place where within the notepad. We are writing the code at one place and executing at the other place. We are writing the code at one place and executing at other place. But to write and execute at the same place, but to write and execute at the same place, we have IDLE, but to write and execute at the same place, we have I got IDLE, right? Integrated Development Learning Environment, which comes along with Python installation, which comes along with Python installation. using which we are writing it one place and executing at other place. But to write and execute at the same place, we have ideally which comes along with Python installation, using which we can write and execute at the same place. So how to open this ideally and how to execute and run this, right? Just the same code I'm taking. Yes, at the in the search, you can type IDLE. Can get this IDLE Python 3.13. Click it. This Python shell gets open in Python 3.13. If you want to interactive mode, 23 into 36. But I doesn't want interactive mode. I want batch mode, means file, new file, you should say. Type your code here, run your code here itself. Writing and executing at the same place. But before that, you need to save it. So save it in the same Python 6am batch. Within that, you can say like sample2.py, any name with the .py extension. All right, now run this code, run module. You got 10 plus 20, 10 minus 20, 10 into 20, 10 by, no need to specify the path here. Directly you can write your code here and you can run your code. So it comes along with the Python installation. Yes, in the search you can type IDLE, right? So this is what executing within this IDLE. So today I was discussing, right, reasons which makes Python super popular, Python software foundation, Python versions, Python installations, Python execution mode, interactive mode, batch mode, various editors and various IDEs, developing the first Python application, right, within a editor. Right? Yes.
So,
Tomorrow,
sir,
yeah.
how it's taking the path? Like you have saved somewhere and then you run from ideally.
No, see here, 1 second. So here, sample2.py. So here itself, you are writing the code.
Yeah.
While writing the code here itself, you have got the run option.
Mm. Okay.
So you can write the code and run the code here itself. Here itself, we can write the code. Here itself, we have got the option to run, irrespective of where you will save.
So then again, it is working as a interactive mode only, right?
This is not interactive mode. Interactive mode means line by line execution. Here, you are writing some batch of statements. Interactive mode means statement by statement interaction. Here you will write some 20 lines, 30 lines, 40 lines of Python code, and you can run the code at once. Run mode.
Okay.
Until you save it, it won't allow you to run. Compulsory, you need to save it. Where you want to save, that at that place you can save. Here you can run it. Okay. Fine. You can just observe this course content, right? You can see tomorrow also everyone can attend the session, same timing at 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock, right? Same time at 6 o'clock tomorrow using the same link. We see more discussion. Tomorrow I'll be entering into the technicals of Python. You can check with that. Fine.
Hello.
1 second. So you can check this here. Python for in advance, nearly 60 to 70 hours I'll be spending. 2 months duration, right? 5,000 is the course fee. It's an offer batch. UI technologies, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and Bootstrap. And people who go for Python full stack, apart from this Python Core Advanced, the UI technologies, the Django framework, Flask, this project, everything is going to be discussed from topics 2 to 6. This takes 70 more hours. So here Python 70 hours, framework 70 hours, 70 plus 70, 140 hours, right? 2 months plus 2 months, 4 months, right? for Python, right? 5K for this, 7,000 for this, totally 12,000 if you're going separately. But if you're taking this entire thing, right, with a single payment, it's 10K. So let me make it clear about the timings of this batch, right? Once again, before you go with the payment. For the first 1 week, it will be at 6 a.m. it starts, but later, after 1 week, it starts at 7 a.m. I'm making here about the timings, right? Before you go with the payments, you'll be getting each and every session video, soft copy of this class notes, assignments and tasks to work with. A WhatsApp group will be created. You will be added to the WhatsApp group for technical discussions, or if any errors, you can post there. Resumes and interview questions and live interactive sessions. 300 plus code examples and 15 plus applications will be discussed. Once you can check this course content, right, in brief, in depth. If someone was asking a query, right, now you can go with your queries. Yeah, someone was asking a query.
I have one query, Vijay.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm from testing background,
Yeah.
so I want to learn Python. For me, how much learning is required for this one, core or advanced?
Python core in advance is sufficient. No need to go with this.
Okay, okay, okay. Thank you. Yeah.
Python core in advance is okay. Fine. Any other queries? So tomorrow also people can attend the session, same timing, same link. But day after tomorrow, the link will be changing. You're supposed to get enrolled, right? But tomorrow you can attend the session, same timing, same link. Fine. So if there are no other queries, I'm signing off for now. Meet you tomorrow. Fine. Thank you all for your time. Thank you.